Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you're having a nice August. This is Dan Janine.
Today we're here to talk about a few movies that a few movies and plays that we've seen. The first movie we want to talk about is Freaky Friday. Kathleen and I are reading a book of Freaky Friday for the From Manhattan to Stars Hollow TBR because Chad Michael Murray from Gilmore Girls is in the movie, and I think that this book was very well adapted for the screen. Um, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan were perfectly cast as Anna and Tess. We loved in um we loved in the musical version how Tess's job fit better with the overall plot of the story because in the in the movies she's a therapist, but in the play she's a wedding planner, which obviously since the play is about a wedding, she's basically stressed out and neurotic like Monica Geller from Friends because she is planning her own wedding. Um
So the film version of Freaky Friday from 2003.
It was the very first time that I saw the film all the way through.
what did you think?
Very funny, actually. Plus, Lindsay Lohan playing Anna Coleman. She was a good fit for that child. And once they switch bodies for that day, they find out their true meaning. Then they love one each other respect again.
Um Overall, I didn't really think that Freaky Friday really need to be turned into a musical because I like the plot um better in the musical where Anna was performing in her concert, and that plot was totally absent from the musical. Instead, they were preparing for a town scavenger hunt. I really felt bad for the little brother in the musical because he was really into playing with puppets and acting out puppet shows, and nobody seemed to support his hobby, which made me sad because I'm a theater artist. So I didn't really like the fact how his dreams were being squashed because I thought his jokes were actually really funny. Um, for favorite songs in the musical, I put After All This and Everything, I Got This, which is the song that they open with at the beginning. No More Fear, which is the song that's close to the end. Someone's Got to Take the Blame, which is the song where Anna and Tess are meeting with the principal in their switched bodies, and Vows, which is the song that Tessa's boyfriend sings when he's practicing his wedding vows, and Women in Sandwiches, which is the song that Adam, who is Anna's crush in the play, who replaces Chad Michael Murray's character of Jake, um, sings to um, Fletcher when he's about to run away to New York City to be a puppet, a ventriloquist act on stage. Um, so our friends Patty, Sonia, and Laura from New Hampshire met us in Portsmouth to see the Freaky Friday musical on August 8th. And Sonia said she really liked the play. Patty said that she thought that the plot was enjoyable, but there were not a lot of memorable songs, though she did like Women in Sandwiches. And the song Women in Sandwiches, that sounds like an analogy that Joey Tribbiani would use because he likes food. We also just got back from seeing the sequel of Freakier Friday.
And we saw this in Scarborough, Maine at the Apple Cinema. But this is a later version of another generation of added characters. And these two teenage girls, one is Anna Coleman's daughter, what's her name?
Harper.
Harper. And Lily, both are starting to argue again. And Harper seems to carry on with that same sense of being selfish like Anna did in the first film. But then, with 2 days to go before the wedding for Anna to her new bride named Eric. Then again, you put four together, and that makes it double the freaky. So that way,
So in the sequel, Anna switches bodies with her daughter Harper, and
and it
um,
was Lily who switched with Tess.
right, Lily, who is going to be Tess's step granddaughter, switches places with Tess, who is played by Jamie Lee Curtis. And again, um, I think the whole thing with the new generation of people switching bodies is good because it helped um, the step siblings understand each other better, and also the adults, because again, um, Tess and Anna still have a bit of an issue with getting along with each other. Like, that aspect of their relationship didn't really change a lot from the first movie. So, um, when they're in the body switching stage, Tess and Anna as Lily and Harper go to the music store that Jake, who was played by Chad Michael Murray, works at, and there is a scene where um, "Hit Me Baby One More Time" by Britney Spears is playing in the background, and um, Anna Harper and Anna's body is flirting with Jacob and doing a really bad job at it. I just thought that scene was really funny, and if I were in her situation, I would probably flirt the exact same way. Um, and also, I compared this scene to the scene in Friends when Ross is trying to awkwardly flirt with the pizza girl. He doesn't do quite a good job of flirting. He ends up talking to the pizza girl about cooking the pizza in gas ovens. I thought the scene in the movie was a lot funnier.
So the very best scene of all was the end scene where both Harper and Anna were in the concert for Ella.
And they so too sorry to spoil the end of the movie, but so Ella is the teenage person who is the person who Anna mentors. She's an up and coming musician in Los Angeles who is the same age as Harper and Lily, and she has this big concert coming up that she's performing at, and at the end of the movie is the concert, and she has Anna's band from when she was in high school playing their song Pink Slip, and Harper and Anna end up singing together, which I thought was really, really sweet. The song that they sang together was very beautiful, and I loved this movie. We gave it 8 out of 10 stars on IMDb.
And we also recently watched an episode of Lizzie McGuire called Those Freaky McGuires, where the two siblings, Lizzie and Matt McGuire, switch their bodies for one day.
And that got some pretty hilarious results too.
I agree. I was laughing a lot during that episode last night. We also gave that episode 8 out of 10. Um, and then I gave the Freaky Friday book 3.5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Next, we're going to talk about a character comparison. We are still in the habit of watching TV shows that Friends actors were on before they were on Friends. And in honor of Matt LeBlanc's birthday on July 25th, we are comparing Joey Tribbiani to Vinny Verducci on Married with Children. So this isn't really a comparison because Vinny Verducci was the character that Matt LeBlanc played before he played Joey, but his character on Married with Children um provided the framework for Joey's character about how he's a ladies' man, and I really liked how you got to see early character development for Joey in the relationship scenes where um, Vinny is dating Kelly Bundy, who is played by Christina Applegate, who plays Rachel's sister Amy on Friends, um, and Um, so we liked the episode where Vinny is dating Kelly because of the chemistry between Christina Applegate and um and Matt LeBlanc. But in the other episode that we watched, which is the backdoor pilot of the spin-off of Married with Children, Top of the Heap, which focuses on Vinny and his dad, who are both supposed to be con men that are like neighbors with the Bundys who try to swindle them out of money. I mean, I liked that aspect of the story, but I just didn't think it really fit Married with Children very well. I kind of wish they had just focused that episode on something, maybe expanding more with Kelly and Vinny's relationship from the previous episode, because I would have liked to see more growth with that. What about you? What did you think of the two episodes of Married with Children we watched with Matt LeBlanc?
Well, he was okay.
Plus, he was still an actor in development.
Right.
Plus, it did kind of fit in a little bit with Joey Tribbiani to me.
Right.
Now, let's see what else we have here. We have.
The next thing we're talking about is Tootsie at Interlake Summer Theater, which, oh wait, I don't have that program out here. Where did that go? Okay, I don't know what happened to that program. I have all my notes written down here, so I guess we don't really need it. So on July 27th, we went to Interlakes Theater with our friend Chandler, who lives in Ashland, New Hampshire, to go see Tootsie, which is a new musical for us to see. Tootsie is based on a movie from the 1980s that stars Dustin Hoffman. Um, Michael Stoddard played Dustin Hoffman's character. He is a actor who is phasing out of his roles as an actor, sort of like Joey is in the Joey spinoff. And he basically dresses up as a woman to go to a play audition and ends up getting cast in the play. This was funny and heartwarming at the same time. Um, I really liked Michael's chemistry when he was dressed up as Dorothy with Julie, who is the other female actress in the play. Um, the other characters that stood out to me were Sandy and Jeff, who were played by Haley Aviva and Ed Madison. Um, the favorite musical numbers that we had for this play were Gone, 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 which is the song that. No, I think the next one is the one that. Well, the I'm Alive, which is the song that. No. Oh, Gone, Gone, Gone is the song that um, Julie is singing at the cabaret club with the backup singers, and I thought that song was really well performed. Then there's I'm Alive, and then there's I Like What She's Doing. Jeff sums it up, which is the song that opens Act 2, where Jeff sums up for Michael how bad he is messing things up, not only with Julie, but with Sandy, because he's lying to her, because he didn't tell her that he basically auditioned for her the same play as she auditioned for and got the part that she wanted. And then um this thing. What did you think of Tootsie?
Very funny playing, and it was nice to be back at the Interlake Summer Theater. And on that very day, before we went there, we visited a couple of family friends who live in Gilmington, New Hampshire, which is the background for when I read this past winter Peyton Place. And we found their family farm, and we bought a couple of nice goodies that we brought home, such as zucchini.
The next play that we're going to talk about is As You Like It. This was the Shakespeare in the Park production that was put on by Phoenix Theater. My friend from A Tincture of Time, Sarah Bell, played Celia. And our other favorite characters besides Celia were um, Jonas Smith, who played Charles Sylvius Duke Senior follower, Becca Gracie, who we saw earlier in this year as the White Witch in The Lion and Witch in the Wardrobe at Portland Players as Adam slash Phoebe, and J. Will Fritz, who played Touchstone, and we are definitely looking forward to seeing future Shakespeare in the Park productions, because that is one thing we used to do all of the time every summer when we lived in Nashua, was go to Greeley Park, which was right down the street from Clock Tower Place, and see Shakespeare in the Park at the end of July, the beginning of August. So we're happy to continue that tradition here in Portland.
And Sarah Bell Wrigley was one of the characters named Cecilia, who Jean befriended when she did her play in June.
Yes, I just said that.
Now, the next thing we want to talk about is we're starting the series on creators, and the creators of Glasky and Kupo created Rugrats, which was one of the original Nicktoons in the early 1990s.
They also created the Wild Thornberries, and what else?
As Told by Ginger and Rocket Power.
So those were some of the greatest cartoons I watched on Nickelodeon, and As Told by Ginger is so underrated. I loved that cartoon, and I think that shows like Doug and Rugrats and Rocko's Modern Life were a lot more popular than those.
Now, the two episodes we're going to focus on is the family reunion and Grandpa's date. Now, first in the family reunion, Tommy and Angelica go with Grandpa Lou and Dee Dee and Stu.
And Drew and Charlotte.
And no, I don't think Charlotte was there.
No, Charlotte wasn't in that episode, you're right.
To visit with some family members.
Who live on a farm.
And the young tots were very nice to see, especially the one with the leather jacket.
So the one with the leather jacket reminded me of Joey from Friends, because he said, "How are you doing?" in a similar type of accent. So that was interesting. I don't think Klasky Supo meant to do that on purpose, but it's something that I noticed.
But you know, this was before Friends.
I know. Rugrats first aired in 1991, and this episode came out in 1992, which was 2 years before Friends.
So the babies didn't trust Angelica at first, but when she felt like she was then under attack by a goat when she was on her own, then the babies just came to rescue, and then that brought the family back together.
And in Grandpa's date, Grandpa Lou has an old friend visit him at Stu and Dee Dee's house, and he has a hard time getting Tommy and Chucky to stay in bed so he can go on his date, and the mishaps with them getting loose out of the crib is really funny. And I think the relationship between Lou and his girlfriend are really sweet.
But this is an example of two things. First of all, it's very common for young tots, like if you're 1 or 2, to escape out of a crib if it's not properly secured. But when they have a bigger bed, then they can get out a lot more easily, and that often causes them to escape, and then parents have to put them back in bed, sometimes several times through during the night. But also the cover of Vixen, before Lou gets his call from his longtime girlfriend, it's a little sexually inappropriate for children's television.
Yeah, Space Vixens. They didn't end up watching the movie because his friend Morgana ends up coming over.
So the last thing we're going to talk about, Janine's going to have some books that she wants to catch up on.
So I'm taking a little bit of a pause from the Manhattan to Stars Hollow TBR and going back for a few weeks to go back into my TBR for fairy tale retelling books. So the first book I wanted to talk about today is called Ash, which is a lesbian version of Cinderella. I really love this author. The last book that I read by her was for the Friends and Gilmore Girls TBR. It's called Last Night at the Telegraph Club, which is set in 1950s San Francisco. She is just like Taylor Jenkins Reid in her writing style for writing sapphic romance books, and I really can't wait to read more from this author. Her name is Melinda Lowe, and this book is called Ash. The next book is a modern retelling of Beauty and the Beast that came out in 2014 by Rosamund Hodge. I found out about this book on Instagram and this book on Instagram on a post I found about fairy tale retelling books. I am so far on chapter 15, and so far I am really liking this book. I love the way this author chose to retell the story of Beauty and the Beast, which was one of my favorite Disney movies. This is a new book that I bought when we were in Boston last week when we went to Newberry Comics. It's called Snow and Poison, which is a retelling of.
Looks like Snow White to me.
It's Snow White, yeah. It's a modernized retelling of Snow White. And this is another new author to me. Her name is Melissa De La Cruz, and she also has another fairy tale retelling of Cinderella called Cinder and Glass, and another book called The Encanto's Daughter, which I don't think is a fairy tale retelling. That looks like more romantic fantasy. But so far, I am on page 49. The next book is a reread. This was one of my top ranked books last year for both the fairy tale retelling TBR and the substance use disorder thematic focus TBR that I read during November when I was doing nonfiction November. This is a fairy tale retelling book by KX Song that I first heard about through Carrie Can Read, and I gave it 4.5 stars. In my reread, I am almost done. I am on chapter 48, and the sequel to this book called excuse me. The Dragon Wakes with Thunder is coming out in a couple of days, so I'm really excited to read the sequel. The next Mulan retelling that I read is Worth Fighting For. This is book 6 in the Meant to Be series, which is modern retellings of Disney fairy tales um, with either body positive characters or disabled characters or uh, lesbian and gay characters. So this is a modern reimagining of Mulan by Jessie Q Sutanto, who is the same author of the Aunties trilogy and the Vera Wong duology. I love her books. The mysteries in them are so fun to solve, and this book was just as good as her mystery books. I finished this book the other day, and I give it 4.5 stars. And The Night Ends with Fire also got 4.5 stars.
So that's going to do it for this video. And
Our next video will be out on August 31st after we get back from my birthday party at Prescott Park. And then, because I will be doing a haul in that video of all the gifts that I get. And then the next episode of the podcast with Kathleen is coming out the day before on the 30th. And we're going to be talking about Bridget Jones's Diary and we're gonna do a book to movie comparison of Bridget Jones's Diary and Pride and Prejudice. We're gonna talk about I have my outline right in front of me. Let me get it out. We are going to be talking about Pride and Prejudice and Bridget Jones's Diary book to movie comparison. We are reviewing the short story collection Shoko's Smile, which we heard about on a video from Diaries of Creativity. We are going to be doing a deep dive into the complex character of Paris Geller on Gilmore Girls, who is played by Liza Wheel. We are going to be specifically discussing the season 3 episode, the big one, and discussing the missteps that Paris made that led her to not get into Harvard. And we're going to further discuss whether or not we think she should have gotten into Harvard despite of her missteps. We are also going to be talking about other episodes that she has featured in prominently, such as the one where she finds out her parents are divorcing and she gets Rory in trouble with the headmaster because her mom is dating Max Medina. And then finally, we're going to be reviewing Fool's Russian, 17 Again, and the Ron Clark story. So stay tuned for those videos, and we'll see you guys in a few weeks.
And hope Janine wish her a happy birthday for her 40th. See you then.